Radio. News, opinion, and a little irreverence from both sides of the 49th parallel. This is Americanuck Radio with Mike Phillip.
Yeah, well, it is that time again. I am your host. Some people call me the Space Cowboy. Some people call me the Gangster of Love. Wait a minute, I'm thinking of Steve Miller. I'm Mike Phillip, coming at you live from Western Canada. Beautiful day out here. I'm just loving this weather. I wish that winter would never come. But, also you could wish for unicorns. It's not going to happen. It's Canada. Or maybe if that global warming thing would kick in. We've got a great show for you today. We've got Professor Mike in Ottawa joining us, riding shotgun with Super Don Naylor, the best damn producer in the history of radio. That's what he tells everybody anyways. So we're going to be talking about, go figure, Justin Trudeau cannot answer a question, and it takes him well over 2 minutes to do it. We're going to be talking about the horrendous tax rate in Canada, and the CRA, or Canada Revenue Agency, wants you to feel really good about being ripped off. They've released this public service announcement that is absolutely ridiculous. There's a American family in Manitoba that just isn't pathetic enough to claim refugee status. They're way too contributing, so they're looking at getting deported. They should have claimed they were from Djibouti, and they'd be getting free dental right now. We're going to get into that and a whole lot of other topics. Joining us in the second hour, we've got Kevin J. Johnston. I had a really interesting week. I was on the What Really Happened radio show with Mike Rivero over at Republic Broadcast. Can I say that on GCN? Can I say that? Okay, good. I just did. So we've got Kevin J. Johnston joining us, and he is angry as ever, and that's how we like him. I'm glad he's out there, getting in trouble for the little guy. He kind of brings it on himself, but he's such an awesome guy, and I appreciate him. I'm proud to call him my friend. Now, President Trump just kicked New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio square in the nuts, talking to the police union. And I can't wait to talk about it. Call-in line is 855-660-4261. Once again, 855-660-4261. Let's launch this show, baby.
Americanuck Radio.
I love it. My girlfriend loves it. Even my dog loves it.
I love you.
Oh, my God.
Americanuck Radio.
We love you.
That's all I listen to.
Americanuck Radio.
Sounds like a party, baby. Ooh, yeah.
So what a weird week it's been in U.S. politics. 48 hours ago, Roger Stone, the man on the show right before ours here on the Genesis Communications Network, he predicted that Reince Priebus would be out of the White House in under 48 hours. Well, that happened. He, quote-unquote, stepped down. Now, I don't believe that Roger Stone has a crystal ball. I really don't. I think that this is Trump and the Trump administration playing the media once again. Reince Priebus is nicknamed Rancid Penis in the White House. I have it on good authority. That's what one of my insiders told me there. Now, Mooch, or Scaramucci, the new White House press guy, he went and he was talking to a reporter for the New Yorker, okay? And he was going off about Bannon, and he was going off about Priebus. And this reporter from the New Yorker, of course, he went and published it within the hour, and Mooch came out the very next day and said, I didn't mean to say that. I was having a bad day. I don't believe that for 1 second. Slick talking New York City billionaire accidentally talks to a reporter from the most liberal rag in town and says a bunch of stuff about Reince Priebus, and within 48 hours he's fired. He stepped down, right? Interesting stuff. Big shakeup. It sounds to me like he's playing everybody. Now, as I mentioned earlier, Trump went and took a big dump on Bill de Blasio's lawn. He was talking about MS-13 gang violence to the NYPD union. And listen to this. This is really funny, actually.
For many years, they exploited America's weak borders and lax immigration enforcement to bring drugs and violence to cities and towns all across America. They're there right now because of weak political leadership, weak policing, and in many cases because the police weren't allowed to do their job. I've met police that are great police that aren't allowed to do their job because they have a pathetic mayor, or a mayor doesn't know what's going on. But
listen to that applause. Listen to that applause. Trump mentions a weak, pathetic mayor, and the police union applauds. Now listen to what Trump said next.
Were you applauding for someone in particular?
And they all start laughing.
It's sad. It's sad. You look at what's happening, it's sad.
So there you go. I love this guy's style. And you know what? It makes for some really great sound bites. Like if you host a radio show, this whole Trump thing is the best thing that ever happened because it's serious and it's hilarious. And that is the goal of this show, to bring you news and information with kind of a ridiculous slant on it. And I don't say that to offend our Asian listeners at all. Okay, so don't take it that way. Don, I'm waiting for you to say something.
Funny. Yes, funny.
Yes, very funny. Okay.
I thought you would imply racism from me. I don't know.
Yeah, it's funny that I actually didn't go there with you. So I went for a bike ride this weekend. I've got a mountain bike, and I'll go 10 kilometers or 5 miles, I guess is what it boils down to.
Thank you, Mr. Metric System.
Yeah, or 7 or something like that. You know what they told us in school why the metric system was invented? They told us that the metric system was invented because it could never be lost in a war.
What?
So after a nuclear annihilation, there will be rats share in the metric system, all sharing the planet together. And possibly Bono. But, you never know, right? So remember I mentioned that Justin Trudeau can't answer a simple question, okay? And this is hilarious because this guy, the mental gymnastics and verbal diarrhea, here's the question that was posed to Prime Minister Trudeau.
Former Prime Minister Stephen Harper has called Lane Morris and Tabitha Spear to express his regrets about the settlement that your government made to Omar Khadr. Have you called either of them? And what do you make of a former Prime Minister doing something like this?
Okay, the question is, did you phone the widow of U.S. Army medic Chris Spears? Did you make a phone call? That was the question. Listen to this guy fumble through his answer, and just pay attention to how long it takes him to not answer the question.
First of all, let me say that I can't imagine, no one can imagine the anguish that those families have gone through and are going through. This is an extremely difficult situation, as we all understand. And I understand how Canadians are troubled by this, including by the settlement, as am I. That's why we settled. We were on a track to having to spend $30 to $40 million in the coming years fighting and settling.
I'd like to remind you that the question was, did you make a phone call? And I actually had to cut that short because we're running out of time. And we will be back with more on Justin Trudeau.
Syntec Global XFT is a breakthrough product trusted around the world for over 20 years. Syntec Global XFT will maximize engine life and fuel economy, maximize horsepower and performance, and minimize emissions. XFT packs an incredible amount of benefits into one small concentrated dose and comes with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. That's Syntec Global XFT. Put it to the test.
Head over to Americanuckradio.com now to get your extreme fuel treatment. That's Americanuckradio.com.
Americanuck Radio.
Welcome back, everybody. We are live. I was just informed by a hot little Italian at Paola in Ontario that our call-in line is not on our website. So we're fixing that right now. Thanks for the head up. And for everybody listening, the call-in line is 855-660-4261. Go get a pen, 855-660-4261. Now listen, if you go to Americanuckradio.com, that's AmericanUCKRadio.com, we've got deals on the best health supplements on the planet if you click the store button. And when you buy them, you can find out how to use them by becoming a Dr. Glidden advocate or ambassador, where you will have an actual 28-year practicing naturopath show you how to recover from over 950 different chronic pain and disease issues without drugs and surgery. And I'm not joking. Now, I kind of went off on Justin Trudeau last segment, but so I went on this bike ride. I got back, and there was a dead squirrel in the rain barrel behind my garage. And I felt kind of bad, because if I'd have been home, I would have fished him out with a shovel before he drowned. But I looked at it, and I thought, this is an ominous premonition of things to come. I go inside, and I open up my computer, and it turns out that Rocky the Flying Squirrel died. Or the lady that did his voice. Anyways, what was her name, Don?
June Foray. She died. She's 99 years old.
99. So she was also the voice of Granny on Bugs Bunny, right? Did you know that?
I did not know that. She was Bullwinkle, I think, and Rocky, and I think she also did the voice of Natasha on the Rocky and Bullwinkle show.
Moose and Squirrel very upset.
That's right.
Anyways, here's our quick little tribute to Rocky and Bullwinkle.
And now...
Hey, Rocky, watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat. See? Nothing up my sleeve. Presto! Wrong hat.
That's a flashback for sure.
That is awesome. I used to love that show. So, like I said earlier, we're going to talk about how the Canada Revenue Agency wants you to feel really good about being ripped off. So they put out this public service announcement. Give this a listen. This is ridiculous.
Have you ever wished you could be greater than you are?
Yes, I have.
That you could stand up for someone far away?
Yes, I have.
That you could save a life?
Yeah.
You have.
I did? Wow.
Wow.
I stood up for somebody very far away. I saved a life. I helped somebody get a dental plan in Africa. I cured AIDS in Mumbai. And how did I do it?
You've provided health care to over 35 million Canadians.
Yes, I did.
You've given a helping hand to friends and neighbors through initiatives like the Canada Pension Plan and Child Benefits.
The Canada Pension Plan is going to be run dry because they can't keep their hands out of the cookie jar. Look at the work of Bill Tufts, Tufts, at Bill Tufts on Twitter. The guy is the wizard of pensions and the problems with them. And guess what? They're not going to be there. They will for your average Canada Revenue Agency worker, but not for the rest of us little people. But you're going to pay into it your whole life. You're just not going to get anything out of it. And they're going to raise the age that you can collect it every single year until it's unattainable. That's my prediction anyways.
You know what's funny about the Canadian pension plan?
What's that?
So you get that automatically deducted off of your paycheck, okay, along with employment insurance and income tax. Now, what's really, really funny about the CPP is a lot of people that are paying Canadian Pension Plan think that it's going towards their pension. It's actually not going towards the pension of the current employer. It's going towards the people that are on their pension now. So you're not actually paying into it like a
fund that's going to be there when that's maturing, right?
It's not a fund for you. It's a fund for other people currently. So that's what a lot of people have this big misconception about.
And that's
even written
that's
right
the
in the
same thing you see with Social Security down here.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. So let's go on with this big back rub from the CRA here.
From coast to coast to coast, you've built libraries and schools.
That's what I did.
Helped advance scientific research, maintained roadways, and provided access to clean drinking water.
Those are all those are not done by income tax.
No, they're not.
Those are done by property tax and gasoline tax.
Well, they didn't. Wait a minute, but they didn't specifically say income tax. They just said taxes. But the Canadian tax rate, they'll tell you that it's 45%. But if you add everything up, I bet you it's more like around 60. Like even just think about paying to register your license plate or car, right? I mean that's literally a tax.
Yeah, it is.
So, they could call it a service fee or whatever they want, but it is a tax. Let's go on with this making you feel good about being ripped off. If things will work out for me, we'll go on with this.
You broke it.
At home and abroad, Canadian forces help those in need. And Canada takes part in the exploration of the far reaches of Earth and space. All because of the taxes you pay, which governments at all levels help distribute.
No, Canada goes into space because they are buddies with NASA. Okay, we would not be able to do anything on our own without the U.S. And that is a fact. Now, this gets better, okay? What is funny?
Okay, I was going to say a lot of people don't even realize that the government only actually has to spend 18% of what it receives in order to claim that the budget's blown so that they can increase taxes next year.
Yeah. Let's go on with this because we got limited time here.
This year marks the 100th anniversary of income tax in Canada. In fact, it was called the Income War Tax Act when it received royal assent in 1917.
Royal assent.
When the First World War placed an unprecedented drain on Canada's finances, the personal income tax was introduced as a temporary measure to finance the war.
Okay, so because Archduke Franz Ferdinand got shot, it was Canada's responsibility to send a bunch of guys to die in Europe. That's the story we're given. And then they gave us a temporary tax. It was a temporary measure, right? Well, we're only going to do this for a little while. It's to pay for the war because you're responsible to do something because Archduke Franz Ferdinand was shot, right? That's what they tell you. And it was temporary for the war. Now, that's never, ever, ever gone away, and it has ballooned out of control. And that's why I tell people, go ahead and vote Conservative here in Alberta. That carbon tax is never going to go away. Anna in Ontario and Phil the Pissed Off Vets, stay right where you are. I want to get to you.
That same year, the Canada Revenue Agency had 36 employees across the country. The agency has since grown to more than 40,000 individuals serving Canadians.
And we're supposed to applaud that. Yay!
Yeah.
Now there's 40,000.
That is fantastic, you guys. Good for you.
The tax system and the forms have changed over time, and so have processing procedures, from a single switchboard telephone operator per office to modern call centers across the country, where millions of Canadians get answers to their questions.
No, the call centers are in Mumbai. We'll be back after this.
Americanuck Radio.
Welcome back to the show. We are live. 855-660-4261 is the line to call if you want to make your voice heard. If you're a pissed off Canadian, let's say you're a veterinarian, possibly even a gardener, who knows? We'll take your call. We want to finish up just a little bit here with this bit that we've been doing on the CRA, or Canada Revenue Agency. They made this absolutely ridiculous public service announcement trying to make you feel good about the fact that you're being ripped off. And that is a fact. I'd like to point out, for people that don't know this, income tax, not 1 penny, stays in the country. That goes to the Rothschilds, the City of London, and a bunch of people that call themselves royals and wear funny hats.
The tax system and the forms have changed over time, and so have processing procedures. From a single switchboard telephone operator per office to modern call centers across the country, where millions of Canadians get answers to their questions about income and excise taxes, benefit programs, and the GST HST.
So there you go. It turned into a whole bunch of other taxes too.
From 11 to close to 50 offices across the country, the CRA has grown to better serve Canadians. And as technology has advanced, so has the agency, with an ever-growing list of new electronic services to meet the growing needs of Canadians.
The growing needs of Canadians, like the need to be stolen from, the need to not be able to pay, feed your family, the need to have to choose between paying your power bill, buy your medication, or food. That's the situation that we're in, especially Ontario.
Yeah, I was going to just say, especially the way that it's working here in Ontario is that people... I know personally maybe 6 or 7 people that are having their wages garnished, as well as the fact that they're still paying income taxes. And 2 of them, it's because of supposed clerical errors by the Canada Revenue Agency themselves. They said, oh, yeah, we're going to give you an income tax refund. And then all of a sudden they turn around and they did an audit, and they're like, actually, no, you owe us like $4,000 because we misstated. We did a mistake.
Yeah, they just pulled it out of the air. Let's take a couple of calls here. Anna in Ontario, you are live. What's on your mind? Hello, Anna. Anna, you're breaking up. I'm having a hard time hearing you. Anna, please get a better line or cell service area. We absolutely cannot hear you. I've got to let you go. Sorry about that. Call us back. Let's go over to Joseph in the UK. Modern flat earth theory, it says here. Okay. Joe in the UK.
Lord.
You're on the air. What's up?
Yo, peace, my brothers. How we doing? Good afternoon, everybody.
Yeah, what's up, Joe?
Afternoon.
Everything's good here. So, the modern flat earth theory is starting to gain some traction. It's starting to get mainstream a little bit. We're starting to put up some billboards, and there's been some articles in newspapers. People are starting to ask us some questions, so I'm starting to make some calls and answer any questions about it, basically. Firstly, have you heard of the modern flat earth theory?
Yeah, I think it's BS, man.
I think it's BS. How deep is
I
it
do.
gone?
Yeah, well, we're not going to spend any more time on this, but thanks for the call. We're going to let you go. We're going to go back over to Anna in Ontario. I refuse to talk about the flat earth theory.
Earther to call the show.
From the UK.
Dude,
keep listening,
we
buddy.
have arrived. We have
You know what? I tell you what. Hey, Joseph, okay? You put together a very slick dissertation on the flat earth theory. Head over to Americanuckradio.com. Send me an email, and we'll have you on as a guest, okay? We'll have you on for a full segment. And Anna in Ontario just dropped off. I was going to take your call.
that was probably his sister. Yeah, one caveat, though, in that challenge is that your dissertation cannot be made up from the 27 YouTube videos that you've watched.
Yes.
Do some real research.
Mike has had these people get quite irate with him, the whole flat earth thing. Hey?
Yeah, that's why I would have had some fun.
Absolutely. Let's go over to Phil, the pissed off vet in Tennessee. He wants to talk about transgenders in the military. Phil, you're live.
Well, I'll tell you, this is really annoying to me. I cannot believe my ears. You know, when I was young, people would tell me, go join the Army, be a man. Well, wait a second, you can go join the Army and be a woman.
I know where you're going with this.
The bowl is all cool, $132,000 for this crap, and I can't even get my freaking teeth fixed.
Well, just claim you're refugee, move up to Canada, and you'll have full dental.
No, I'm going to go to India.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. India and China are dirt cheap for dentistry.
Really? I've heard Mexico totally you can get really cheap work done, too, but then you've got to get there alive.
And drink the water and you die anyway, so who cares? Anyway, I don't want to talk about all that stuff anymore. I want you guys to have a good show, and I don't care how much you pay for taxes. Yeah, I do. I'm sorry.
I'm guessing you're retired.
Flat?
What?
What about the Earth being flat? Mike asked you.
What's flat? The Earth.
Yeah. Well, hey, man, I look across the field. Looks pretty flat to me.
Well, that's Saskatchewan, Alberta.
Yeah, that's because I live here. Yeah, big sky country.
I know. I saw you run away from home once. I think your parents told me they watched you for about 3 days before you were out of sight.
Yeah, I tried to escape several times, actually, but, I never could get it out. Mike, you're awesome. You in Ontario. You're the best guy ever. Phil, thanks for the call. I appreciate you, man. Yeah, so what is with this whole transgenders in the military thing anyways? I mean, aren't armies all about killing people, blowing stuff up, winning wars? Since when is it about whether or not you can be a woman or a guy? I mean, what does the military have to do with that? I mean, it's crazy. And you got all these celebrities that are just melting down over it. Mike, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, you know what? If you did your military training, okay, let's say you went in as a man or as a woman and you only had to do 30% of the training, especially me being an ex-soldier, I can tell you that's the way it works. If you passed all of your basic training, your fitness exams, if you didn't have flat feet, bone spurs, whatever, then technically it shouldn't matter if you're tranny or not. But I can understand, first of all, there's a lot of people that are actually using the military in order to get free operations in the States. And like Phil was saying, it's $130,000, right? Yep. For an operation that still, if you look at the statistics, there's still a 48% chance the person is going to commit suicide anyways. Gender dysphoric disorder and things like that, or gender identity disorder and all these things, they'll turn around. I don't believe in the DSM at all, but, I do believe that there is a lot of mental illnesses associated with transgenderism. So you join the military, you go through all this training, you get shot at, you get your free procedure, and you realize you still have the same issues that you had before the military, so you kill yourself. But the real problem is, do you want to be stuck in a foxhole with somebody who's like, oh my God, guys, they're going to start shooting at us?
You think you're going to be in combat and shaving your legs and putting on lipstick? I mean, why, if you were a transgender, why would you want to be in the military? That's my point. I mean, you could be at home going to clubs and having a good old time. I mean, why would you want to? Are you going to demand that you can wear pumps while you're doing a 50-mile hike with a rucksack? I mean, what's next, right? And not only that, but the Russian military probably thinks this is really funny. I'm guessing that they are laughing at us.
What I think is hilarious is that a lot of the anti-LGBT people are cheering this on. They're saying, yeah, no gays or trannies or whatever in the military. Well, no gays was the thing before, but no trannies in the military. Now, realistically speaking, the military, aside from places like Chicago and stuff, are where you're most likely going to get shot and killed. Now, wouldn't the anti-LGBT people be more, like, wouldn't you want to support them going into the military? Wouldn't you want to say, hey, you want to be, you want to act like a woman, but have all the privilege of a man, so why don't you go in the front line?
I hear the music. That means we got to wrap it up. Mike, and Super Don will be back after this message from GCN.
Syntec Global XFT is a breakthrough product trusted around the world for over 20 years. Syntec Global XFT will maximize engine life and fuel economy, maximize horsepower and performance, and minimize emissions. XFT packs an incredible amount of benefits into one small concentrated dose and comes with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. That's Syntec Global XFT. Put it to the test.
Head over to Americanuckradio.com now to get your extreme fuel treatment. That's Americanuckradio.com.
Yes, you are hot! Smoking hot! In your face! Woo-hoo!
Americanuck Radio.
So now I'm being hounded by flat earthers. I just got a tweet from one of them. And apparently this is going to be a thing. Speaking of Twitter, I've got to give a big shout out. We were talking about transgenders in the military and stuff. Listen, I am not anti-gay, okay? I'm a straight guy myself, but I do not hate gay people. And there is a group of gay Trump supporters on Twitter, and they're just the coolest bunch of people. They tweet out really funny stuff, and politically and ideologically, we align on many levels. R. Lewis Ewan tweeted out, listening and waiting patiently about the new federal party for Canada, going to make 2019 election interesting. Maybe we will get PR by design. You just stick around, because after this segment, we're going to go into a hard break. Then we're going to bring out Kevin J. Johnston to talk about that and other issues as well. So, Justin Trudeau is sitting across from me. Mr. Prime Minister, do you believe in the flat earth theory? All right, fair enough. So, that was our illustrious Prime Minister. You can't go wrong with a line from Beavis and Butthead on a syndicated radio show. It's just good stuff. Now, do you remember, Dawn, a few years ago when women were getting their anus bleached and paying good money?
Where are we going with this? Okay.
Just wait.
Yeah, I seem to recall something about that, yeah.
Right. So that was a thing, and they were saying things like, well, I don't want to be laying on a beach in Brazil, and my butthole looks ugly. Well, first world problems, right? And I think it was like $60,000 to get it done or something stupid like that.
Wow. Yeah.
Well,
just use a Clorox bleach pen, I'll do it for $5.
It's concentrated carbamide peroxide that they use. You can get it like at any pharmacy. It's called Murine. It's an ear cleaning solution. They put the gel on the bum and that's it. And it costs like pennies to make.
Okay, so it probably wasn't $60,000.
How is it Professor Mike knows so much about this?
He probably does it so that he'll look good on the beach. Listen to this. I'm not even going to describe this. This is a thing now. Okay, listen to this. I'm serious.
Danish company The Perfect V has created a product specifically for highlighting vaginas.
Nice.
The product is called Luminizer for the V. Look at this woman talk about it while standing next to a half-naked woman looking really uncomfortable.
You can use it for everyday use, but it's also a little extra, when you go on a date or if you're gonna go out, it makes your skin more radiant and it makes your skin looks perfect. I really love that one. It's one of my favorites.
That was really awkward. So if you're going to be out walking around, you want your cooch to look its best, right? But this gets better, believe it or not.
Okay, sorry. I was actually wondering what this product was for, but now I understand. My date will be like, oh my god, look at that lit vagine. My date can only really take me seriously if my vagina glows.
Your date can only take you seriously.
Wow.
And I bet that you're probably going to explain it to him. And, so there you go. Vaginal highlighting.
Narcissism in this nation just has no boundaries anymore.
I don't understand why they think that they have to highlight it. Realistically speaking, okay, whether people want to admit it or not, one of the primary reasons why anybody dates or has any spouse, one of the primary reasons is either procreation or for boning, let's face it. He doesn't care if it's highlighted or not. I mean, most people just have a preference of shaven or unshaven, clean and unclean.
I know, right? I mean, is he gonna take a selfie with it or something? Got to make sure you get it. You know, this. Oh no, this is. You
know what? Actually, now that I think about it, that might be it too. Because now a lot of people are putting up their selfies and their pornos and homemade stuff online. Maybe that's what it's for.
I guess. I don't know.
I mean, I've heard of girls bleaching their hair down there to make it blonde, and I'm just like, no, just shave it off. Don't buy lingerie. Lingerie gets in the way. You know, I don't see the whole point of wearing clothing anyway, so I don't know. I guess
you don't see the point of wearing clothing? I've seen you, and you need to wear clothing, my friend.
According to the website, the product has luminous iridescent color to add some extra prettiness to the V, renews and improves the skin, making it appear more youthful and fresh, and brightens and minimizes the appearance of skin imperfections. All this for only $54.
Only $54 for a limited time.
It'll look luminous and fresh. It'll remind you of your 8-year-old sisters.
Jeez.
What the heck kind of advertisement is
Call
that?
our toll-free number, yeah. And I've got a lot of people tweeting out that they can't believe we're talking about this. But this is a thing, okay? This is actually a thing in North America.
It's a vagina, y'all. A vagina's gonna look like a vagina's gonna look, you know? Using a cream isn't gonna make your vagina look like a luminous, silky flower petal. It's still gonna look like a vagina. And there's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Wait. So she said, if you use the product, well, it's still gonna look like a vagina after all. So that means the product is a waste? Is it basically like another pharmaceutical scam where it's like, yeah, you could take this pill all your life, but you're still going to be depressed and suicidal. Don't worry. It's like, I don't get it.
Your hoo-ha will look great.
It's still going to look like a vagina. Like, I don't know.
Hey, listen, Dawn, do we have time? Dawn went and found this hilarious song, and I want to dedicate it to Justin Trudeau. Do we have time for that, Dawn?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, everybody listen to this. What are these guys called?
I believe this is the Canadian Beaver Band.
The Canadian Beaver Band. I like them already. Everybody give this a listen. This is too funny.
Yes, sir. We want to send this one out to all of the Justin Trudeau fans out there. That's right. J is for his first name. U is for his youth. S is for his smile. T is for his toque. I is for his eyes so blue. N is for his nose so cute. All the girls love him. Can't get enough of him. He's kind of like his daddy. He's kind of like his ma. It's like Jesus Christ himself is living up in Ottawa. A star up in the sky, make a wish and it comes true. With JUSTINTRUDEAU.
Yeah.
J is for joint, U is for unicorn, S is for sandwich, T is for turnip, I is for Instagram, N is for Newfoundland. All the girls love them, can't get enough of them. It's just the way it is, there's nothing you can do. With JUSTINTRUDEAU. With JUSTINTRUDEAU. With JUSTINTRUDEAU.
All right. That's enough of that. Do we have time to take a call?
Here's what I'm thinking, though.
Okay.
Wouldn't you think that the perfect spokespeople for the vagina highlighter would be the Canadian Beaver Band?
Yeah, I think so. Formerly known as the John Brown Beaver Band of Mississippi.
Well, they've got the name.
Right. Hey, Rebecca in Edmonton, stay right where you are. We want to take your call after this hard break, and you'll even get to talk to Kevin J. Johnston. How do you like that?
Vagina highlight.
The vagina highlighter, yeah. That's what they called him in college.
The vagilighter.
How many times does that word need to be said on one segment?
I think the board op's sweating enough. I think maybe we ought to give him a break.
You know what? No, I'm not going to do that.
But wait, they have more than vagina highlight? They also have lotion, an exfoliant, a wash, an intense lotion, a serum, beauty sheets, and a beauty mist. Everything my vagina's always asked for.
How about a shower?
Do you really need an exfoliator for that?
That sounds painful, man.
It does.
I don't know because, geez. Hey, look at that. We got Kevin J. Johnston on line 2 waiting around here to join us after the hard break. This is going to be great.
He's probably calling in and going, "What the hell are you guys doing?"
No doubt.
All you need is a toilet brush with a little bit of battery acid. You'll be good. The home exfoliation kit.
Pumice stone, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Just puff it
bench
off there.
grinder,
sandblaster. Yeah,
hey, you know what? Another good question is that are these things going to be filled with carcinogens, or I mean, you know what I mean? Like, what are some potential? Well, hey, Mike, what ingredients would you want to look for when you're picking out a vaginal highlighter?
I don't know. I mean, obviously you would have synthetic dyes in there. Most likely they would add sodium lauryl sulfate in there just for the heck of it. You would probably notice that there's certain preservatives that would be pretty toxic.
Right. Okay, we got to stop. We got a hard break coming up. Mike, and Super Don, Americanuck Radio on the Genesis Communications Network. We'll be back with Kevin J. Johnston right after this. Callers, stay where you are.
Americanuck Radio.
News, opinion, and a little irreverence from both sides of the 49th parallel. This is Americanuck Radio with Mike Phillip.
Welcome back to Americanuck Radio, everybody. We are live. I've been getting a lot of requests to have Kevin J. Johnston on the show. Well, guess what? He's here. The call-in line is 855-660-4261. Once again, 855-660-4261. Kevin J., what's going on?
I want to say thank you very much for having me on the show, first off, and I have to give a shout-out here to the Ontario Electric Railway Historical Association. I decided to take a quick 1-hour break off the ride back to Toronto from North Bay, Ontario, and I've stopped at a railway museum where you can actually ride rail cars that were built back in the 1800s and in the early 1900s. This place is phenomenal. They're letting me use the phone because, of course, there is no cell coverage here at all.
No cell coverage in North Bay, Ontario. Good to know. And big ups on those guys.
I'm closer, just so you know, I'm closer to Guelph now. I've made my way back. The funeral was over this morning, but decided to stop in, just clear my head. And I want to say thank you again to the Ontario Electric Railway Historical Association for letting me use their phone to talk to you guys in Alberta. That's www.hcry.org.
Beautiful.
Mike, take it away.
Sounds good. So, well, I mean, earlier this week, we went and recorded that video. Everybody, you can go check it out at americanuckradio.com. That's americanuckradio.com. Me and my sexy-ass cowboy hat. And you know how that got going with the whole cowboy hat. I used to play in bands. One day I wore a cowboy hat on stage, and the women just went nuts. It's the weirdest thing. Women lose their brains when you wear a cowboy hat. So all you guys out there, just remember that. Rebecca in Edmonton, Anna in Ontario, stay right where we are. I don't think that we need to get into any more with your arrest over hate speech, or is there any updates that you'd like to let everybody know about at this time, or is it all the same situation still?
Well, it's the same situation, but more and more information is coming out as time goes on. But regrettably, because of the media ban that was put in place, there's very little I can discuss, because everything that I would discuss would be in disclosure, and that is part of the term that I cannot discuss what is in disclosure.
Have you gotten a lot of well-wishers contacting you?
A lot. You know, the voicemail keeps filling up every couple of hours. I have to keep draining it out. The email box, there's probably the better part of 800 emails in there from this week alone. So I will do my best to get back to everybody as quickly as I can.
I don't know anybody that puts their cell phone number out like you do. That's quite amazing, actually. I'm surprised that I'm ever able to get a hold of you, quite honestly.
Well, there's a cowboy hat graphic whenever you call, and like you said, it's a sexy thing, man. So I just grab that call every time.
It's the power of the hat, I'm telling you.
Can I just say one thing?
Yeah.
Actually, first, I'd like to give a shout out to my friend Jen, who really, really liked that whole vaginal highlights topic.
Hi, Jen.
Hi, Jen. Second thing, do you guys think the whole cowboy thing is maybe because even on TV, that's kind of like the last semblance of what a real man was? You know, don't take any crap from anybody?
I think so, but, you know, in my case, I'm all hat, no cattle. I'm the furthest thing from a cowboy that you've ever seen in your life. I worked on the rigs. That was pretty rough stuff, but I think you're right. I think it's a symbol of dwindling masculinity in North America. So listen, we are getting...
If you look at... Oh, sorry.
We're getting a large amount of people asking about your new federal party that you are forging. You were telling me that you have a dirty kaffir in your cabinet?
That is correct, yes.
Nice.
I have gone out of my way to meet as many human beings as I possibly can. And one gentleman that I'm very happy that I met 2.5 years ago is an apostate. He took off from Saudi Arabia at a young age, came to Canada, and he has now seen the country that he calls home for the last 15 years turn into a dump. It really has turned into a dump. And I'm not just talking from an Islamic standpoint. What I'm talking about is from an economic standpoint, from an infrastructure standpoint. What he did is he had a friend of his show me what highways looked like live on a Facebook feed as we were talking about Canadian infrastructure and the fact that right now in the city of Mississauga, there's one street which is one lane each way. It's being widened to 2 lanes. It's been going on construction-wise. A 1.5 kilometer strip has already taken since April, and it's only about half done. Whenever I drive by, there's only a crew of 3 people working on it with one bulldozer moving something. But then you look at the way that things are done in China, Dubai, and even Norway, they'll shut everything down for a weekend, and the road is done within 2 days. I don't know why Canada, being a G20 nation, can't do better than what we all perceive to be a second and or third world nation. And we're being smoked everywhere that we possibly can be by every nation in the Middle East when it comes to infrastructure, when it comes to just presentation. I mean, courthouses, hospitals, and schools in Dubai, they all have marble floors. You know, here we have broken linoleum floors. There's no sense of pride in Canada anymore, and that's what he's talking about, and that's what I'm talking about, and that's why we're going to form a federal party to bring back nationalism, bring back pride, and to remember Canadian heritage so that we don't make the same mistakes as other nations around the world that have come and gone.
Well, we are making those mistakes, and those mistakes are happening. And listen, I would like to submit for your consideration that it's not a mistake. The last official act of any government is to loot the nation. That's a saying of a good friend of mine, ex-NASA engineer, Hollywood CGI guy, Mike Rivero. And did he get a hold of you, by the way, Kevin?
He got a text to me before I left for the funeral. He got a text to me. So, yes, I will be in touch with him in the next 36 hours. That's a promise.
Beautiful, yeah. So we'll hear you on that show next week, and we'll probably have you post that video to your BitChute account, I'm guessing. So let's talk policy, okay? Yeah. Let's talk policy. And Rebecca in Edmonton and Anna in Ontario, stay right where you are because we want to hear what you have to say. Very dedicated callers. They've been waiting a long time to get on.
Okay,
just stay right where you are.
I'm not going anywhere until they both get their questions in. That's no problem. Policy number 1 is the nationalization of the education program. We have learned that having provincial education programs hasn't worked. Every single township, every single municipality, they all have their own school boards, and none of them have any form of leadership within them. What we do need to have, and I know this goes against what you say, Mike, but we do need to have a centralized education plan with a very strong set of leaders in place, ones who are not subject to social justice warriors and political correctness, ones who are mandated to ignore every insult that comes at them. And we go straight back to mathematics, language, both English and French, seeing as we're a bilingual country, history, science, and gymnasium. Like gym class has to come back, and listen, every kid has to run. And you'll tell the kids flat out, listen, you got asthma? Too bad. Take a puff and get running. If you don't want to die, keep running so your lung capacity is higher, so that your capillaries are full of oxygen and not full of plaque. That's what we have to tell everybody. Get rid of political correctness, and that's exactly where I would start, is with education. The next big one is defense. We have to triple the amount of money that we're spending on defense, because right now we're spending nothing on it. We have archaic ships that are run by diesel fuel. Our Navy is a joke, not because of our men and women, but because of the fact that we've not been funded in any way. So we don't have our guys up to the same speed as any other country in the G20, simply because Canadians have mistakenly believed that we're never going to be under attack. We're under attack now, just so you know.
Well, we're being defended by the states, right? We're relying on the United States and NATO in general. So we're kind of like, you know, when you go to a shopping mall and you see the little kid hiding behind his dad's legs saying, you know, oh, protect me, protect me. That's what we're doing. We've got a major case of vaginosis or something going on here.
Well, sure we do, but that's not going to work for much longer, because we have a prime minister and an entire Liberal Party in charge of the country that's gone out of their way to make enemies with the USA.
We got to wrap it up here. I hear the music, and that means it's time for a break. We're going to come back after this and take some calls from Rebecca and Anna. Stick around, everybody.
Syntec Global XFT is a breakthrough product trusted around the world for over 20 years. Syntec Global XFT will maximize engine life and fuel economy, maximize horsepower and performance, and minimize emissions. XFT packs an incredible amount of benefits into one small concentrated dose and comes with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. That's Syntec Global XFT. Put it to the test.
Head over to Americanuckradio.com now to get your extreme fuel treatment. That's Americanuckradio.com.
Americanuck Radio.
We are back and we are live, and as promised, we're going to take some calls here. And anybody listening, if you have questions for Kevin J. Johnston, call-in line is 855-660-4261. Anna in Ontario has been holding the longest, and then we're heading over to Edmonton with Rebecca. Anna, how are you doing today? Hello, Anna.
Thank you for taking my call, Kevin.
No problem, Anna. I'm hoping everything's well.
Hang on, Anna.
Kevin, you've been
there you are.
First Canadians exposing those Islamics.
Oh, you're very welcome on that. And believe me, after this whole arrest thing took place, I've learned a whole lot more, not just about them, but about our own government, our own people. It's a very interesting 2 years that are about to come up.
Yeah, scary thing. I've learned a lot as well. And following you and Sandra Solomon, you guys are both wonderful. You guys have the strength, I tell you, that it's exposing what these people are all about. Now, my question, I'm an active Twitter user, and I've been following, I know, Kevin, you're not allowed to answer too many questions, but I'm just going to put it out there. And from what I've gathered on Twitter, all my wonderful followers, we're all connected together. And give a shout-out to all of them. I've been following especially Omar Al-Jabra. I don't know if I'm saying the name right. But
you can say it that way. You can also say Omar Al-Gabra. Both are correct.
Oh, Al-Gabra. Oh, okay, then. All right. So I've been following him, and he tweeted something on July the 14th saying, Kevin's YouTube account disabled. Well, I notified all my followers. We attacked his page right away, over 220 tweets. And then on July the 16th, he tweeted, I like Kevin. We attacked him again.
Yes, he would tweet that. He and I have only met in person twice. Once was a 5-second handshake, and the other one is the video that you see online, where I'm asking him, hey, can I do an interview with you? And he says to me, why would you want to see me? You say nasty things about me. He's very, very shy.
And you said because you're beautiful.
Well, anyway, besides that, I've been following all the tweets, and I've come together. I'm not any lawyer or scientist or anything here, but from what I've gathered, I know you're not allowed to announce the people involved that have charged you on hate speech, 319 Section 2, on July the 24th. Monday morning, they came to your house, arrested you. The police officers were very professional. Thank you for that. So you were charged under that criminal code 319. It has nothing to do with M103, but I have a feeling that M103 has been into that mix somehow.
Well, M103 is going to lead tens upon tens of thousands of Canadians into the same charge, the 319 subsection 2, which is a law that should be struck from the books. It is only one sentence. It's crazy how much influence one sentence in the Criminal Code of Canada can have over one particular individual. So M103, if that goes through as a law, there'll be at least in the first year, 10,000 arrests just like mine, at least.
Yeah, the court systems are going to be quite busy.
Guaranteed.
But from what I gathered, Bonnie Crombie, Omar Algebra, Ikra Khalad, and probably in the mix of Kathleen Wynne in there too. My question is, the person that is the Attorney General, is it not a conflict of interest, him being involved in your charge, knowing the fact that he's affiliated with Bonnie, Omar, and Ikra?
My opinion is it absolutely is a conflict of interest, seeing that most likely the Premier explained to him that she wanted something done. Now, there is another story that I could tell about the fact that her staff have been watching me since the beginning, since January of this year. And her staff have begun to take notes on people that I affiliate with or even just friends. And her staff, especially the armed security guards, have been asking people, do they know me? And this has been going on since January. So I would suspect that, first off, the Premier had something to do with it, but it's only a suspicion. However, is it a conflict of interest? I absolutely believe so, and the lawyer that I've been speaking to absolutely believes so, and we have a lot of research to do into this. And I intend to research this right to the very end.
Okay. Now, also, Yazir, whatever his name, the Attorney General, I can't pronounce his last name.
Nakvi, yeah.
Okay. Now, also, he's got a bad, shady background as well, so he's not so innocent himself. The same as Bonnie Crombie's husband, Brian, has been charged with fraud. Omar is a shady as well. And you got Ikra Khalad, which is affiliated with ISNA, which is also with CAR and the Brotherhood terrorist organization. Now, the federal government revoked ISNA as a,
they told her not-for-profit status.
Organization.
Yeah.
How the hell does she get into government when you are affiliated with a terrorist organization?
Because nobody in this country does their research. That's why. Regrettably, when people like myself speak up and explain these things, and we're explaining them based on fact and based on what we can prove, all we do is get ignored until it is too late and something severe happens like this past Monday's event. Now Canadians are at least paying attention to what's happening. But I'll tell you this also, is that it's disappointing that even though this thing has gone international with the news of the arrest, it doesn't change the fact that Canadians, even members of my family, wish to remain comfortable sitting in front of the TV, counting on CBC as their source for news. And you can't get folks to understand that CBC is fake news. It isn't real
It's funded by
news.
the federal government, $1.3 billion a year, our tax dollars, to, announce fake news because they promote liberals, and that's not fair. That's being biased.
No, I know that. It absolutely is not fair. And to give you an idea of how unfair it is, they get $1.3 billion per year to run their network, but they don't have a single show in the top 20 in the ratings in Canada. Not one.
Yeah.
So it's a money-losing venture, no matter how you look at it. Just like Kevin O'Leary said, you have to run it like a business. If they were running it like a business right now, they'd be out of business.
If you can watch CBC News with a straight face and think that is really a good, accurate reflection of what's going on in this country, you do not possess a functioning brain, flat out. If you, I mean, and I'm not, and just picking on CBC, that goes for global, that goes for CTV, that goes for all big media in Canada. It's the CNN, it's the garbage dump behind CNN. It's so bad.
It is, but you know what, though? It works, and I'll tell you why. Is because up in North Bay, I've got family that have come in from all the surrounding areas, and they're all saying, oh, my God, you got arrested for hate speech. We always knew that you'd get in trouble someday, and you can't get them to understand.
Thanks, guys.
No, it's a political move. My enemies just don't like me. I did actually not break the law. I'm just accused of breaking the law by people who don't want me running in the municipal election in Mississauga next year. That's what this is. But I am going to run, regardless of what happens. I'm still running for mayor in Mississauga next year.
We are running out of time. I hear the music. Thank you so much for your call. We appreciate you, Anna. I have got to let you go. Americanuck Radio with Kevin J. Johnston. We'll be back talking to Rebecca in Edmonton right after these messages.
Americanuck Radio.
Welcome back to Americanuck Radio, everybody. We are live with Kevin J. Johnston, and as promised, we are going to go over to our caller, Rebecca in Edmonton. Now, listen, Rebecca, Kevin has informed me during the break that he does not have the time to do one more segment. Now, everybody that's wanting to know policy and platform, and you've got questions about this new party, if we run out of time and can't sufficiently get into it, Kevin and I are going to shoot a video tomorrow, and you'll be able to catch that at kevinjjohnston.ca, is it?
.ca, that's the YouTube channel, but then there's also kevinjjohnston.com, which is the BitChute channel, and all the YouTube work that I do filters into that. So that's actually your better bet. I'd rather see BitChute get the traffic than YouTube. So, Rebecca, go ahead with your question.
Rebecca, you're live.
Hi, can you hear me?
We can hear you just great. You sound beautiful. Go ahead.
Okay, excellent. Hi, Mike. Hi, Kevin.
Hello.
I'm so glad you guys are out there for the rest of us patriots. And I want to give a shout-out to every single Canadian patriot listening. I am absolutely disgusted by what's happening in our country. I'm actually getting sick over it. I mean, physically ill. But at the same time, I know that I'm a fighter, and I'm going to just keep on going. I wanted to say that I was going to say that what Anne had said about I think that Yasser Naqvi should recuse himself, but she already said that, so I'm going to carry on. I think it's a violation of every Canadian's rights to take away our freedom of speech. You know, Kevin's only trying to inform us and protect us from a barbaric culture. These are his opinions, but they are also the opinions of millions of Canadians. And I agree that too many people are not doing anything about it. It's going to come to a point where we have to do something about it.
That's exactly what I was saying when I was on the Ezra Levant show. Is I'm trying my very best to inform everybody, and that includes Muslims who are here that call Canada home and who are Canadians first and Muslims second or third. I do not want civil war in the streets. I don't want Canadians feeling like they have no choice but to go to vigilantism. We are trying to stop that from happening. And now Mike made a very interesting comment there. He says the sure sign that the government's come to its final end is that they begin to pillage the nation. And that's exactly what the Liberal Party is doing now. And that can only lead to civil war. I really don't want that because I really do love the country the way that it is. And I don't mean its policy. I just mean how beautiful this place is. I'd hate to see half the country on fire. I really would.
I like barbecuing on my deck without worrying about snipers. So civil war is a really bad idea. And listen, while I was listening to you talk, Rebecca, I could hear your voice wavering. Ladies and gentlemen, this lady is afraid for her country. She's afraid for her freedom of speech. She's afraid. And this government and their policies are causing people like Rebecca, beautiful Canadians, beautiful people that just want to have a good life. It's causing them undue stress. And stress will kill you, okay? Stress will have your body producing cortisol that damages your organs. So listen, this is very important, but Rebecca, I want you to really try and calm yourself and trust that God loves Canada and he's watching over us. And I believe in God, okay? I believe that he has raised up guys like Kevin J. Johnston for this time. I don't believe in coincidences. There's always a messenger. There's always a watchman on the wall. And Kevin J. Johnston, Rebel Media, Americanuck Radio, that is our rule. Now, we make it kind of ridiculous and we want you to laugh. That's the point of this show. We want to put out the news and make it kind of ridiculous and fun at the same time. But Rebecca, I want you to keep your chin up and be not afraid. Do not be afraid, because in the end, there's only so far they can go, and they've only been allowed to go so far throughout history. And just the fact that you were on the right side with your love of liberty means that you have already won, Rebecca. They can't take that away from you.
Very true. I agree. But I would also like to say one other thing. I'd like everybody to sign a petition. It's E-1194. It's on ourcommons.ca. It's condemning Trudeau for the Cotter payout. And we've got a lot of people on there already, but we want to keep it going until we, to the last day of the petition.
Can you give that web address out again? It's ourcommons.ca. And what was the number of the petition?
It's E-1194.
E-1194. Hey, Rebecca, here's what I want you to do. I want you to head over to Americanuckradio.com. That's AmericanUCKRadio.com. And I want you to click the contact button. That'll get you an email to me. I want you to send me a link to that, and we will post it on our website and try to get as many people to sign it as possible. Sound good to you?
Absolutely. Thank you. Okay, I'll let you guys go.
Thank you very much. Get that over to Mike, because I'm going to post that as well.
Thanks, Mike. Okay.
Yeah, let's get it out there. Thanks for calling, Rebecca. We really appreciate you. And everybody that's listening, Rebecca is in Edmonton, which is actually about 45 minutes away from where I live. So there are many really great people. And I mean what I said. Don't be afraid. Be mad. Keep calm. And continue to speak out. Fear is going to hurt you. In the words of Winston Churchill, we have nothing to fear except fear itself. Get strong.
Actually, I have one more thing to add to that, and that is when you make a decision based on fear, it is 100% wrong 100% of the time. You have to abandon fear and realize that even with as outspoken as I am, the most that I face is 2 years in prison. You have to understand that they want you to be afraid. And they can't fill every single jail cell, and they can't fill every single courthouse. At some point, it's all going to give, but we all have to stay strong. Please, I beg you all, abandon fear. It doesn't help you in any way.
No, it does not. Absolutely not.
Here's the other part, though. The reason that this arrest took place is because the entire Liberal Party is afraid, not of me specifically, the man, but what I represent.
Yeah.
This is a fear move, and they've made the wrong move, because now what they've done is they've put me international, whereas I had a small following nationally. Well, you're going to hear the message.
Yeah, you're a sheepdog is what it is.
Yes, sir.
And I mean, you know, they look at it like strike the shepherd and the sheep will scatter. But the thing is, there's a lot of very strong people. And there are people out there that have got the leadership and the strength and the voice in them. They just haven't stepped up to the plate yet. But guys like you are going to cause that phenomena to happen. Let's switch gears just for 1 second here. I just received a question for you on Twitter, Kevin. And if we've got the time for it, let's get your answer. We were talking about school and nationalizing of education. Paola at Paola, if I'm mispronouncing your name, I'm sorry. She says, will the new party's national education policy support publicly funded Catholic schools?
Tell you why is because that is in the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, and that is part of our culture in its entirety. Christianity is Canadian culture no matter how you look at it, and even folks who come here from other religions, they understand that, and they benefit from the fact that this whole land was based on Christian values. Yes, I would be encouraging Christian schools to be popping up everywhere. Catholic schools, there would be a Catholic school in every major city. Yes, the answer is yes to that.
We got about 45 seconds left, and I'm glad you brought up Christian schools because my sister and brother actually attended Cornerstone Christian Academy out here in Alberta, and my mother-in-law taught there, so I'm very familiar with that situation. Kevin J. Johnston, thanks again for joining us on Americanuck Radio. Everybody, we're going to get into the plight of an American family that the Canadian government wants to deport because they're too white and productive. We'll be back after this, everyone. Thanks, Kevin.
Okay, Mike, I got a flight. Take care, bud.
Syntec Global XFT is a breakthrough product trusted around the world for over 20 years. Syntec Global XFT will maximize engine life and fuel economy, maximize horsepower and performance, and minimize emissions. XFT packs an incredible amount of benefits into one small concentrated dose and comes with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. That's Syntec Global XFT. Put it to the test.
Head over to Americanuckradio.com now to get your extreme fuel treatment. That's Americanuckradio.com.
Who are you trying to get crazy with, S.A.? Don't you know I'm loco?
Insane in the membrane. Insane in the brain. Insane in the membrane. Insane in the brain.
Americanuck Radio.
So before the break, I was talking about this family from Colorado that decided to take up residence in Manitoba. And it would seem that they are encountering some difficulties. And I thought that this would be a good segment to go into for the end of the show right after talking to Kevin J. Johnston, because it's kind of a thing with him, the whole immigration thing, right? So let's get into it now, shall we?
If you wanted a postcard of what rural Manitoba looks like, Tiny Waterhen would be a good place to take it. So when the Workington family from Colorado happened upon it, they knew it was where they wanted to raise their family.
People want to come here and get away from the busyness of their life and see what real wilderness is really like, and we have that, and that's what's exciting. Like, it's just a beautiful country.
Okay, so these people fell in love with that little corner of Canada, and I get it because I live in a very beautiful place myself. There's many, many really beautiful regions in Canada, okay? Now, I don't hate Canada. A lot of people think I'm a Canada hater. I'm not. I love the land and the people. I do not like the government or the very system that we live under. I think constitutional monarchy is a misnomer for the brain dead. But let's get back into this story, shall we?
The government of Manitoba also considered them a business-oriented family and actively recruited them to immigrate. They invested close to $750,000, settled down with their 5 kids, and applied for permanent residency. And now their youngest, 6-year-old Carolyn, could be the reason they're being deported.
So these guys were actually headhunted by the that area, that region, to come there. These are the kind of people that we want to bring into Canada. They're going to be productive, good members of the community, start a business, contribute to the economy, jobs. Useful. But it turns out that there's something with their daughter that the government has a problem with. What were you saying when you tried to interrupt me, Mike?
Oh, no, I spoke when there was a pause there, and I said, how about the word useful? They're going to be useful people. Useful people.
Isn't that something? Yeah. They're all in Ottawa.
There's like so many useless people in this country.
That's everywhere, though. That's everywhere. So let's get back into what the problem with this little girl is.
Carolyn has a developmental delay and was deemed medically inadmissible by the federal government because her condition would place excessive demand upon Manitoba's publicly funded education system.
I was shocked. And honestly, I felt sick. I was going between nausea, disbelief. Just, what are we going to do?
Oh, it's going to cost too much to educate this child because he has a slight disability. So you know what? We're going to kick her ass back to the United States. Her and her family, even though they're productive. But I'd like to say, if she was from Djibouti, she would have full dental coverage in the Dominion of Canada.
A Global News investigation revealed major flaws in the dollar figure used by immigration officials to approve or deny applications to come to Canada. That number, we discovered, is arbitrary, and immigration lawyers are preparing to fight their cases based on that fact.
That's a fancy way of saying they're making it up as they go. It's just like Caesar giving the thumbs up or the thumbs down, affecting people's lives. I can't stand these guys. And I just don't like bureaucracy. And it's weird because I'm married to a politician.
You know what's funny is they said that so her developmental delays are going to cost the public school system a lot more money. Now, last I checked, there's special ed classes in the majority of schools, and also last I checked, the teachers don't make more money per hour based on the amount of kids that they have to teach. So how is it going to possibly cost any extra? What, a few extra books? I mean, is that it?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they're already doing it anyways, right? So I don't know if it would cost more. Exactly. But the school actually says that it's not going to cost them anything more at all.
I don't know if I would say that the family is being discriminated against per se. I would say that the current procedures in a medical inadmissibility analysis are outdated. They're grossly outdated.
Okay, so blah, blah, blah. It's not that they're being discriminated against because they've got white privilege and blah, 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 blah.
Global News reached out to the government for comment. The PM's office declined, and the Ministry of Immigration would only offer that they're looking into it. Meanwhile, the clock is ticking on the Workington family.
The clock is ticking, and the government doesn't want to say anything about it, the Immigration Department, because they don't have to say anything about it. They don't require your blessing. They don't have to answer any questions. They can lie to you. They can, listen, if I was from, let's say Somalia and had, let's say, leprosy, no problem. Come on into Canada. But if you're a young white American family that's productive, it's going to cost a lot of money to have you here. And we just can't afford it right now. You know what I'm saying?
The families received overwhelming support from their community, including from the school board, which disputes any notion Carolyn would overburden the system. The Workingtons have hired a lawyer and are hoping for a reprieve, knowing every day in their Manitoba paradise could be their last.
We're not trying to be a burden to the people of Canada. We're trying to be productive. We want to be productive, and we are.
Trying to be productive, and we are. But you're looking at it all wrong, though. You're looking at it from a common sense standpoint when that's not how these people think. Okay? They got to go out of their way to make special concessions if you are confused about your gender. Or if you, if you're from Djibouti or something, claiming you're a refugee from a non-war-torn region is basically here on paid holiday until you get bored of the place and want to go home because the government isn't paying you enough or isn't paying for your cigarettes for whatever reason they're leaving Germany and places like that. But I thought that this was a relevant topic because this is my country. You hear me? Canada belongs to Mike Phillip, okay? And nobody's listening to me. And that's why we're in such trouble that we are today. So, I mean, what are your thoughts on this story, Don? You've been listening and you're really quiet over there. So what do you think?
Yeah. Well, I think it's crazy. I mean, I agree with you that I think there's a bit of hypocrisy going on here. This family did not choose to have a daughter who ended up with epilepsy and some learning disability. And I think there is definitely some hypocrisy here because, just recently, and correct me if I'm wrong, that, Canada just brought in a bunch of Syrian refugees, right? Wasn't that long ago, correct?
Yeah, most of them weren't even from Syria.
No, they weren't even. A lot of them weren't from Syria.
Syrian refugees.
Yeah, they called them Syrian refugees, but a lot of them were from Sudan, Somalia, Djibouti.
So they come in. Were there any of these refugees that perhaps had any type of learning disabilities or handicaps or things, or is it just because they're a quote refugee that they get an automatic come to Canada card? It just doesn't seem right, and it seems like they're being discriminatory. I mean, they really do. That it's like, yeah, you're okay if you're here, but you know what? If you have any type of problem, and it's not even the parents, that were having the problem. It was a poor kid, and that just seems to go against everything that I have heard that Canada's about inclusion and acceptance and helping people out and nobody left behind and yada yada whatever. Yeah. Where do they get off on kicking people out like this? I think it's criminal.
Canada's got a very dark underbelly that people don't know about all over the world. Canada's really good at its own PR, but just like stink under the floorboard is starting to come out. I mean, we've got a very checkered history when it comes to genocide, when it comes to experimentation on human subjects, just a myriad of things have happened here that the world would be shocked to know about. Mike, what were you going to say?
Oh, I said that's called white privilege when you come from the United States and you're basically chosen to work there in Manitoba or wherever in Canada, and then you get the boot. I mean, isn't that white privilege?
I could go my whole life without hearing that again, but I guess that's my white privilege talking. Mike Phillip, Super Don, Professor Mike. Americanuck Radio is signing off. Come and join us next week, everybody. Keep an eye on our website, Americanuckradio.com, for more videos with me and Kevin J. Johnston arguing about the best way to set up the country. Take care and have a great weekend, everybody.
Americanuck Radio.